Hello there, welcome back to my Pyanodons challenge series. During the last episode, I built this monstrosity. It will produce, if it's all working correctly, 110 megawatts worth of steam. That should be plenty for me to be able to begin mega basing to build science, but I have a lot of other things to accomplish. The first thing and the new tradition I've decided on for this channel is Maximal goes and fixes the problems that he caused in his starter base. While the voiceover tells you what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom off to repair a bunch of issues. So let's let voiceover me tell you what all the problems I caused are. So during this period of Maximal fixes his own base and addresses his mistakes, I have quite a few things to address. It seems never ending. First, I'm not putting enough iron into my iron processing, and I need to move over the steel, the iron ore supply for steel because that was built too close. Next, aluminum is backed up, and I need to fix that. I also noticed that I'm not clearing enough coal gas, so I'm going to add a bit more to the Glassworks build. And finally, I need to add more wood because currently my concrete depends on voiding carbon dioxide and muddy sludge, which means that I have to send those up to the moss, and the moss has to go out through the wood, so I'm going to add more of a wood buffer. And then I take all of those resources that are getting buffered from various places and pull them down to the mall so that I can at least have visibility on how full my buffers are. Anyway, back to play. Okay, so I've done some base cleanup. Hopefully my starter base is going to be running a little bit better, mostly keeping up with the resources I need to do. The first thing I want to tackle during this session is that during the last one, I left the ash separation, or rather the soot separation proceeds unfinished. So I want to go ahead and take these. I'm going to push them back to my starter base area. Reason being is that I expect that while I can deal with a lot of things in this science base and make it significantly better automated than my starter base, you'd have to hope, considering how bad some of it was, I cannot deal with all the problems that basically I need better tech to solve. So, for instance, I currently cannot deal with I want to cross over here. I currently cannot deal with lead and zinc in particular. I cannot even smelt them, so they're gonna crowd up some buffer chests. I have nothing I can particularly do with aluminum other than make engine units. And in general, yeah, there's going to be a few products that I'm going to have to buffer for a while. And if I'm going to buffer them anyway, I might as well buffer them at the starter base because here I can keep a better eye on exactly what's going on with them. So I can see that, you know, like this, these stone chests are starting to pile up. And I'd really prefer to, you know, make sure that they do not clog up because they are valuable products that I will eventually want to use, for instance. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to use a similar design here where I just furnace the three things that I can because it squishes them down into a smaller, tighter format. There's also going to be iron oxide, and maybe I can even send those up to do something with them. But yeah, so I'm going to work on this for a moment, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so with that taken care of, at least I'm going to go check why I don't have lead or zinc coming through, but I'm guessing it's because I buffered it at the bottom here. accelerate myself a little bit down here. With that taken care of, I'm going to move on to the next thing I feel like accomplishing. All right, yes, you're taking everything and pushing them onto into a box. So I will put those back where they belong now. Yeah, what were you doing over here? You were probably removing all the coal dust that comes through. Yeah, that's fine. Eventually going to want another maybe set of separators for more, at least more soot. Okay, so I'll put those back, but then I have my next task in mind. So maybe I'll just show that off right now. What I want to build is... I don't even have it open right now. Look at my building my first automated science setup. Here it is in YAFC. The most relevant part that we should look at right now is processed iron. To make the amount of science that I want to make, which is tentatively 90 science per minute, 1.5 science per second, I need 120 iron ore per second. That is 8 belts exactly. So that's what I'm going to work on next. By the way, if you're curious why I've chosen to go for 1.5 per second, I'm actually going to go shoot for 80, but because of my challenge, I don't want to drop or below 80, so I want to stay above that. 90 is my safety zone. And with 80 per second, I can get to this creosote target in about 2 hours, which is the dead period that I'm aiming for. So 2 hours of downtime, and I will have my next useful science. Anyway, with that said, I need to go. Oops, got some wood over here. Don't want that. I need to go and dump off a whole bunch of actually, what am I saying? I need to gather the resources necessary to mine 8 lanes of iron ore, preferably even a little bit more than 8 lanes, because it'd be nice to have a little bit of safety on the iron. Oh, do I have the resources? I think I'm actually pretty close, so I can just run over there and start doing it. Yeah, let's do that. We're not actually that far away from the mining area, so if I have to run back, it's no big deal. Here is the blueprint that I'm going to use. It is pretty simple, similar to the one that you've already seen, so I'm not going to make you watch me build it. But the important bit is that I need 8 lanes. 8 sets of miners in a row to get a filled lane. That is exactly 8. So this will create 2 lanes right here. Let's see, this fits perfectly. This fits perfectly. This fits almost perfectly. There's, well, it's starting to get tight over here. So that's 6. I get... Okay, so I probably can get... If I want to be safe, I can get 6 lanes over here. Take this one off. I would have to feed to the back of this somewhere, another 2 or so. Yeah. So in terms of total lanes here, I've got 6. I can probably make a 7th up here if I feed back just a little bit. And yeah, okay. I'm going to mess with this. I'm going to find space. There's definitely space here to make 8 lanes worth of iron ore. So I'll be right back after I've set up this mining operation. Okay, so that is done. I definitely found enough to make 8 lanes. That's no problem. What you saw me doing at the end, if you watched it fast forward, is just running around and flipping all these inserters. It's easier to put them on all in the same direction and then rotate them by force building them. So the next problem I'm going to have, or the next issue that I need to solve, is 17 miners. For every 3 miners, I need 1 coal per second. So that's almost half a belt of raw coal fed to one of these stacks. Some of them have less miners in a row, but most of them are going to need, yeah, almost a full belt of raw coal. So I'm going to have to drag in a bunch of raw coal. Looks like I need to feed, let's see, I've got a total of 140 miners. Divide that by 3, we have 20, oh, sorry, 47 raw coal per second. Is that right? Yeah, so if I did it perfectly, that would be still over 3 belts. So I'm going to pull in 4 belts and see if I can distribute that correctly. Anyway, yeah, let me go and do that, and I'll be back soon. Probably going to need to make a run for more materials. Yep, be back soon. Okay, so this is the solution that I've come up with. I might do this a little bit differently. I've looked at the different lanes and said, well, there's some place I can borrow some coal from raw coal here, because I've got 9 feeder lanes, but I'm pulling in 8 belts of raw coal. Now that 8 belts is, sorry, 4 belts of raw coal. Those 4 belts of raw coal is plenty to feed this system, but I have to pick it off of the right places, otherwise I will starve one of these lanes. So this area up here at the front, kind of the lowest, so I'm going to take a total of maybe 5 inserters worth off there, but it also gets kind of priority because it's at the beginning, although it is, and it's feeding at the bottom of the belt here. So anyway, that should deal with one of the pressing priorities. There is one more, of course, and that is our favorite guy, Ash. Ash, well, since I'm putting in 4 belts of raw coal, I'm going to have to take off 4 belts of ash. Well, of course, it's not quite 4 belts, but near as can be. So I think I will just, I'm going to set up solid separators here rather than trying to pull them down to the main base. That way I only have to send back like a single belt of ash separation products rather than try and deal with, you know, more belts of ash going down. And in general, that's going to be something that I focus on. Ooh, that's perfect. This creates, yes, 10, exactly 1 solid separator's worth. I love when things work out like that. In general, I'm going to focus on that as kind of a mantra and a way to save a little bit of time and effort, dragging fewer belts across the world or fewer caravans when I get to them, fewer trains, etc., etc. And that is to find the kind of like thing that reduces the logistics load the most. So for instance, by solid separating, I go from 10 per second of ash down to just 0.75 of the ash byproducts. That's pretty nice. That means just one belt. Okay. So that said, I'm going to set up the soot separation. This is not as nice. It's 12 per second, so I'm going to have to get a second opinion going here. All right. Be back again. Okay, so that's ash separation sorted out. So that's pretty good for about hours worth of work. 140 iron miners ready to go. 5 ash separators chugging along. This division seems like it'll work. This last ash separator is not really used that heavily. There's not many miners feeding it, so I'm going to feed some of the excess that is coming through here. I'll have to keep an eye on it. I might add yet one more onto the end. But for now, this is looking pretty nice. I'm sure there's going to be a couple of places that I'm already seeing, for instance, like right here and right here that I need to fix. But yeah, there's 8 lanes of iron, and here's what I'm going to do with it. So this is a iron processor that will turn that 8 lanes of iron into, well, 2 of those 8 lanes into process into iron ore and stone. This is kind of similar to the design I have in my starter base, except that I'm not smelting the stone on site, and that's because stone is going to be an interesting resource to deal with in the future. So I would rather have it in its raw form than try and have it as bricks. So this is what I'm going to build next. I might even... I sneak this, like push this against the cliffs. Yes, I could do this. Give myself a tiny bit of extra room because I can underground that. Each of these will also have to be fed with half a belt of raw coal, so I'm going to need to get 2 more lanes of raw coal up here because I will want a total of 8 of these. Sorry. They're in pairs. Sorry, I will want 4 of these. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. 48 jaw crushers, using up something like 20 megawatts by themselves. Fun. Okay, this is yet another thing that I think I can build off in accelerated time. So I will be back shortly to... after I've put that together. See you soon.
Sparks fly in the midnight hum, turning gears where shadows come. Click clack, the echoes run away. Wires twist and whispers grow, circuits buzz where secrets flow. Cogs in the dark, spinning slow, spinning fast, building futures from the past. Tic-tac, the rhythm won't last. Bolts tighten, dreams align, metal hearts beat out of time. Blueprints whisper in the gloom. Hands in the void, reaching through. What will this machine undo? Build it up or break it down, only shadows wear the crown. Cause in the dark, reaching and dreams align. Metal hearts beat out of time. Blueprints whisper in the gloom. Clouds in the dark reaching through. Blending slow, spinning fast. Building futures from the past. Tick tick, the rhythm won't last.
Okay, well, this build is in the books. Maybe there's one more thing to do. I have to force build this so that the inserters flip around properly. I think there's one final piece that I'm going to try and accomplish during this session. I need to solid separate off of these, and I want to figure out how I feel like doing it. Each of these should be using almost a full belt of actually, it will depend on which direction I go with the iron, and I'm not going to use the iron yet. I still have many, many things to accomplish before that iron can be successfully used up. One of those things is figuring out where my closest large native flora patch is. So, I think I'm going to call it an episode for today. We've accomplished... I'm doing the YouTuber thing. It's silly. I put together a massive iron build with tons and tons of refining. This should put out something like, I think, 24 bricks per second, which is kind of the important part, and 24 iron per second, of which I only need 9, because I'm still going to continue to use that recipe that, or avoid using the carbolic iron recipe. Kind of hate that early carbolic oil recipe. I've explained why. So for now, this is going to be my solution to make automated science. And then later on, once I get a better way to make bricks, then I'll be able to expand my science production even further. So you don't need to leave me a like or a subscribe, but I would love to hear comments on what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing well, anything you want more of or less of. So for now, I will see you guys later.